Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I am your host, Jayden and Joining me is my co-host, Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
Pretty solid. Pretty solid week, all things considered.
Yep. For this week's collar and elbow question, of course, we are once again coming to you from Sound Peak Audio and Design in Topeka, Kansas. For this week's collar and elbow, as I was saying, recently, the MLB has officially added Negro League stats to be considered for the major leagues. So, in wrestling, all time, which companies do you consider to be the major leagues of wrestling?
Okay. I think it's kind of simple. You gotta have WWE.
WWE, yep.
I guess you gotta have EW.
AEW, yeah.
I guess it kind of.
The day they launched, they were the second biggest company on earth.
Right. Yeah. True.
So, New Japan.
New Japan. I would consider All Japan till '99, Noah until '09.
Okay.
I guess it's a kind of a weird cutoff, but when Misawa passed away, it kind of became not as big.
Well,
when Kenta left,
and sometimes these leagues go in and out. For instance, the NWA is a major league until WCW starts.
They're a major league until the split.
Until WCW becomes its own company, and then WCW is a major league.
TNA, I wouldn't say was ever a major league. It got
close.
AAA ball at best.
Okay. What about CMLL and AAA?
I would say definitely CMLL.
Okay.
AAA, I would put in the 2000s, 2010s. Not so much now, where we're seeing like Vikingo. Vikingo is like the top guy, and it's only Vikingo really.
Yeah.
ECW, I'm gonna say, is in that same boat as like
TNA,
where it's not major league, it's AAA.
ECW was one of the ones that, as I was thinking about this, I was kind of struggling with. The other one was Ring of Honor.
I think it's the same thing as first. If you put Ring of Honor at major league, you have to put ECW major league.
Okay.
And so I would say they're like AAA.
So you'd say they're AAA ball.
Yeah,
okay.
Something like that. Like they could have become major league. Both of them could have been.
What about the AWA?
That's tough. I'm gonna say no.
Okay, I was gonna say they probably were, but it's not something that's like a case I feel like I need to fight for.
I think the territories that you can consider major league are gonna be like Jim Crockett in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
AWA, it's close.
It's close. So our official list is WWE, WCW, NWA until WCW starts, New Japan, AEW, All Japan until 1999, Noah until 2009.
Yeah.
That's and then of course CMLL is the other one we had. I think we hit all the major areas because there's not really one major European company that stands out.
I feel like you could even say one, and we'll think about it as soon as we're done with the podcast. But that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair list. I think we kind of established it. So, all those companies, of course, have a world champion, and I think if you were the world champion of one of those, I think we got to 7 companies we listed. I think you can consider yourself a world champion, right? Yeah. So, and then it's arguable for the ECW title, Ring of Honor title, TNA title, just kind of different situations. Next up, we have outside the ring news. First off, sort of AEW news, sort of just Forbidden Door news. Jeff Cobb has laid down an open challenge for Forbidden Door. Who would you like to see accept that challenge?
Powerhouse Hobbs.
That's actually exactly who I have written down. That is exactly. Because my first thought went to Samoa Joe, but then I was like, no, Samoa Joe should challenge Shingo Takagi for the Never Openweight title. What would you think of that matchup?
I think that's pretty solid. I think, we're looking at the New Japan titles. The IWGP is going to be defended in the main.
Yeah, Moxley and Naito. We found that out this weekend.
Naito's probably going to get it back. After that, it's tough. It's like the junior heavyweight. Is it going to be Despy? Is it going to be Show? I think whoever it is at the pit's going to change who gets the match.
Mm-hmm. Who has the global title right now?
The global title?
Is it still on Nick Nemeth?
I think so. Whoever has that, I think we get the pre-show. Personally,
Let me see.
that one's tough.
The IWGP global title. It's on David Finlay.
So that probably will make the pre-show if it is defended.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind because it is the War Dogs, it could be a 5-on-5 match too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yep.
4-on-4 now.
So let's see what else we're missing. I don't see the junior tags being defended unless it's a pre-show thing. What about Team DK defending the IWGP or or Strongest Weight or both titles? Do you think that could be something we see?
I think they're. Yeah, I could see that happening. At least one of them. I think the IWGP title is probably more in the strong ones. I think the strong open weight.
I mean, you probably just put both of them on the line because Team DK is going to win anyway.
Probably, yeah. I think the strong open weight, like the main, like the heavyweight over there, will be the pre-show match for the singles pre-show match. I don't know who has it, but I feel like a Tom Lawler would be fun.
It's Gabe Kidd.
So ooh, never mind.
Gabe
I was
Kidd
wrong.
against
That will not be defended, actually.
because
I think War Dogs are gonna have a 4-on-4.
okay, that
Like
makes
that's
sense.
the Bullet Club Gold.
That would be pretty awesome.
It would
actually.
be. It would be.
I'd be so down for that. All right, so just kind of some ideas we have for Forbidden Door. However, in WWE, we had huge news this week as Ricochet seems to be that he's not going to re-up his contract when it expires this summer. Which, because this isn't a release, like we talked about with Becky Lynch and Chad Gable, which, by the way, it looks like Chad Gable's going to re-sign. That's what I think I saw PW Insider had that. I don't remember for sure, but it sounds like Gable's going to re-sign. But it seems like Ricochet's going to leave. There wouldn't be a 90-day. What do you think he does?
It's so tough because New Japan and AEW both seem like really good places for him to go. I think not New Japan. I think All Elite gets the win here, though. I guess.
I would like to see him in the G1 Climax, and then go to AEW.
Yeah.
I think the G1 ends July 20th. Let's see, when is All In? I have it written down here somewhere. All In is in August, so that would give him a month to build something for All In. I mean, potentially Ospreay, Ricochet, AEW International title at All In. Sounds pretty awesome to me. We'll have to see. But hopefully he goes wherever he's happy, and we get to keep seeing him wrestle on TV.
Just keep doing that flippy stuff, and I'll be happy. Keep getting destroyed by Braun Breaker for however long his contract is.
Yep.
And then as soon as he have him fall from the sky in AEW just after a spear.
Mm-hmm. And then, speaking of the G1, NJPW this weekend at their Dominion show announced kind of the format for the G1 Climax. No wrestlers have been announced, just the format. Here I have from Fightful's Jeremy Lambert, wrote it all down here. It's the annual, of course, G1 Climax tournament. Will feature 2 blocks, an A block and a B block, with 10 men in each block, 20 men total. 18 competitors will be announced for each block, and the final 2 competitors will be determined via tournament on July 5th. The top 3 finishers in each block will advance. Second and third place finishers will face off August 15th, with the top point scorer receiving a bye to August 17th. The semifinals will determine an overall winner for each block to compete in the final August 18th. So I was wrong a minute ago. The tournament starts on July 20th. It ends on August 18th, which would give you
About a month.
yeah, well, it's about a month, but if somebody from AEW was in it would only give them a week to build something for All In.
And people are gonna miss the All In card. It stinks, but it's just the truth of how the business works.
Yeah.
But also, missing.
Well, just like people miss the G1 in New Japan. So
It's kind of like the best way to put it would be to do like an allegory from this year in like motorsports, where Kyle Larson did the 500 about the NASCAR race the same day. Yeah, he missed the NASCAR race, but he went to another really big event. If you kind of get what I'm meaning here.
I get what you're getting at. I don't understand any of the
Right,
references.
I'm aware.
So we were kind of talking about it before this. If there is if you could pick, if New Japan came to you and they said, we're going to put 4 guys in this tournament that don't wrestle for New Japan. One has to be from AEW, one has to be from CMLL, one has to be from another Japanese company, and one can be from anywhere. Who are the 4 you're putting in?
So from CMLL, I guess, because you're probably not going to get Mystico, because let's be real, he's their big draw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're going to run in July, August. I'm assuming Arena Mexico, Jalisco,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere on there. I guess not. So I guess Hechicero, maybe him, somewhere around there. Blue Demon Jr.,
Mascara Dorada.
Mascara Dorada, some not a small, really small guy.
I don't know. And the thing is, it's got to be somebody established because this is the freaking G1.
This is they can't. You're not New Japan. New Japan can put in a young lion and be okay with it. You can't put in like a Blake Christian.
I was about to say an Atlantis Jr.
Yeah,
who's a great wrestler, but I don't think he is well known
not
enough
there
to
yet.
be.
Not there just yet. I guess Fantastica Mania is kind of like the good like bar.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Hechicero would be perfect because he's
Okay.
usually on those cards. He's pretty well known in both America and Japan, and of course in Mexico. So he'd be a pretty good pick for the CMLL. AEW is tough because again, all in.
Mm-hmm.
It's too early to put Shibata or Okada back in there, but
Mm-hmm.
this would easily be my top 2 guys in like 2 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Can't put anybody in the elite in there. It's too important. No champions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Maybe a Ring of Honor champion.
Maybe a Ring of Honor, yeah. I guess Roderick Strong or Claudio or somebody who's expendable for All In, I guess.
Yeah, big enough to make the tournament expendable for All In. Or is in a faction like the BCC and can have his story built for him
Yeah.
without being there and then just has to show up in England. Like Claudio.
Or Roddy.
Or Roddy with
Yeah.
the Kingdom, yeah.
I think
Who would be your final pick
my final pick from AEW?
from AEW?
I'm going to go... He's a little small for it, but what about Kyle Fletcher?
Kyle Fletcher.
You know, he's got that name brand in Japan.
I'm about to say, the thing about him is he's not one that I would typically think about being big enough to do it, but because he comes from New Japan, he's got that kind of extra little boost that I think that could be a good pick.
I mean, he's multi-time tag champion that over there, so he's known enough, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be more likely that, of course, like Mark Davis comes back and we see them at the end of the year in the tag league.
That's more likely, but if Mark Davis is still up in the air for some reason, I think Fletcher in Japan for G1, he's got that style down. He's big enough in Japan to do it. It'd be good matches.
Carrying around the Ring of Honor TV title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It'd be good matches.
Mm-hmm. And then from one of the other United Japan companies, could be any of them.
This one is even more tough because Noah's gonna have a guy in there, at least one. Jake Lee will be really fun. He's gonna be all together against Naito. Could beat if he beats Naito and Naito has a title. There's your story right there. Jake Lee beat him. He's gonna win every match of this tournament. He's gonna beat him at Wrestle Kingdom. If you're not gonna do that, some dark horse candidates, I guess, would be Shun Skywalker, Fuminori Abe. Those two have very different skill sets, but are also, to me, some of the better guys in Japan. The All Japan, you got the ace there, maybe a Saito brother, but you're probably gonna have them in the tag league. I'm gonna say Jake Lee.
Jake Lee? All right. And then you get one wild card, could be from anywhere in America, Mexico, England, whatever. Japan again.
He just showed up in GLEAT. So if you're interested in that, check out GLEAT. Their last show had MXM on the same card.
Mm-hmm.
Katsuhiko Nakajima hasn't wrestled since March. Was in All Japan, won their title. Rumored to go to NXT with Triple Crown. That would have been so exciting. Never came through. He left All Japan in March. Hasn't been seen. He just hasn't been seen since then until last night. A strong worker who's big enough in Japan. He's a top Noah guy for a long time. He's immediately a top guy in All Japan. big enough in America at this point to have be both have AEW and WWE interested in them.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, very solid pick.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, just some people we'd like to see in it, and of course there's a plethora of people on the New Japan roster who we'd love to see in that tournament. Also, in other news, Who Killed WCW Episode 1 aired this week. Vice did also put it up on YouTube for free. So if you guys are interested in that series, you can go check that out. I watched the first episode, thought it was pretty good. It's kind of refreshing to hear about this story, knowing that it's not a documentary that had to pass through Vince McMahon's office first. You know what I mean? Knowing that we could actually see like the real inside of WCW.
This isn't the Monday Night Wars documentary where
which was also a fun
it's
documentary.
It's a really good documentary, but it's not. It's very clearly not just going to be like, look at this. Oh, when they said to turn the channel, everybody did, which which is true. But it's not going to be like emphatically like we did this. Look how dumb they were in WCW. Ha 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 ha. Ted Turner stinks. It's going to be more, I guess, objective.
And also, I feel like the WWE ones, because of their working relationship, never really gave Hulk Hogan his props for killing WCW. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
or Nash, really.
You're not gonna see WWE kind of crap now. At least you're not gonna see him crap on Hogan or Nash. But with those contracts, let's be honest. Well, Hogan both kind of saved WCW. NWO went on too long for it. In hindsight, I guess.
Both things can be true. Hogan did save WCW. They talked about it in this episode of the documentary. Hogan did save WCW. He just also killed it. You know, both things are true. So we'll just have to see. Let's see. Dynamite this week. We're not going to do a whole lot on the TV of the week because we do have quite a lot of pay-per-view stuff to talk about.
Once again.
But a few things from Dynamite this week. MJF's promo to start the show was awesome. He teased a feud with Okada, Swerve, and Ospreay. So here, I'm giving you, those are the three options for MJF's all-in opponent. Who are you picking, Okada, Swerve, or Ospreay?
Not Swerve. I don't want to see him be immediately placed in the world title match.
Well, he would also have to win the Owen to do that.
True. I don't want to see either of those, to be real. I think you kind of have to get MJF away from the world picture scene for just a little bit, because of how it went.
He'll get back there.
He will, but how it went last time is just it's kind of fresh in the memory now. He's back. It's a little worrying, concerning. I'm gonna say, I think out of the two that are remaining, I would like to see Ospreay MJF. I want Okada Shibata so badly that I would love that to be an all-in. I think that the people, Okada's style is really, he's not. MJF's more showboaty, I guess, more character-driven in the ring.
I mean, the match we saw MJF have with Danielson proves to me that he can have a great match with Okada.
He will. I just think that the options, because you want all-in to be the best show you can make.
Yeah, you want All In to become your WrestleMania.
And I think doing Okada MJF at All In would be a big money match. I think that it wouldn't be the best match. If you might get what I mean. If you get what I mean there. Like, out of those two options, that I think Ospreay is the most compatible with everybody. That's saying MJF isn't, but in terms of style, I think it'd be Ospreay would be the better match.
Yeah. And then Mark Briscoe beat Brian Cage to qualify for the TNT ladder match. So we now know Takeshita, Mark Briscoe. We will, I think Saturday, it might be Wednesday, sometime this week is Dustin Rhodes versus Jack Perry to qualify for that. So obviously Jack Perry is going to make it. All love to Dustin Rhodes. This is just set up too easily to be Jack Perry. And then I imagine there will be a New Japan representative in that, at least one,
New Japan, CMLL.
Maybe CMLL, so we'll have to see.
Something like that. I would, again, love to have Mystico in this match. I think we said that before.
Yeah.
If we have not, I don't know why.
I just want Mystico on this card.
He should be in every match.
Yeah. Give me, whatever you want to do, Mystico versus Okada for the Continental Crown, or the Continental Championship, whatever. Get Mystico on this card.
Run the gauntlet, Mystico. Run the gauntlet.
But yeah, I would like to see NJPW Soul is this weekend. I think that'd be a good show to throw a qualifier on of something. I don't know who you'd put in, but I mean, there's so many good options in New Japan. And then also the only match I really wanted to highlight, or I guess there were two matches I wanted to highlight. Swerve versus Roddy for the world title, and the BCC versus four representatives from CMLL were both great matches. What do you think of Wheeler Yuta's return?
Long time coming. I think it was kind of a shocking return. I think it should have been saved. I think it shouldn't have been announced.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but that's just me. A great match still. I mean, has no ring rust, so he must have been cleared a few months ago. Get back in the ring, do your thing. And of course, I don't know. It seemed like he didn't miss a step.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'd forgot that the ROH Pure title existed until this weekend. When that match was announced.
Don't worry, most of us did too.
So did Tony Khan, I bet. On Raw, the only segment that I really wanted that I thought was good enough to shout out, even though it was another great episode of Raw, just we have so much other stuff to talk about. Gable, Sammy, and Otis again, and Maxine and Akira, of course. Oh my gosh, just the best part of Raw every week. This is the best storyline, the best active storyline in wrestling. Gable got Otis to attack Sammy. We're going to get a Sammy Otis match this week on Raw. Really excited to see where this goes. And we're going to get Gable at Clash of the Castle. And that is why I think he's re-signed. I think they would have kind of put off this title match if he wasn't already re-signed. But that was kind of my indicator for that.
Yeah.
Moving on, this weekend, it was a big weekend. We had NJPW Dominion in Osaka-jo Hall in Osaka, Japan. Best of the Super Junior 31 final. I guess we'll just go through this. Were you able to watch all Dominion?
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. We started off with Tetsuya Naito versus Callum Newman, which I thought was a fun opener. It wasn't really announced beforehand, just kind of thrown on the card, and it was a good way to get Naito a win. Callum Newman looked good. He kicked out of a Destino, which I was really surprised by. And then, of course, it just set Tetsuya Naito to come out at the end of the Moxley match and kind of lay the gauntlet down. Probably just kind of quickly through the undercard. Or I guess, no, there's some stuff to talk about here. Kosei Fujita, Zack Sabre Jr., and Robbie Eagles beat the Bullet Club War Dogs. That is, of course, was Clark Connors, Joel Maloney. And they teamed with LJ Cleary of Pro Wrestling Noah, the good-looking guys. For anyone who doesn't watch Noah, can you explain what that faction is, what they're about?
The good-looking guys are, I guess they're kind of like the heel, kind of, sort of. Not, I guess not really.
Well, they're teaming with the War Dogs, so I would say they're heels.
They are the heels. Also, kind of not the heels. Noah's kind of weird, but they're really kind of one of the major factions. I mean, Jake Lee's a big dude in Noah, and Anthony Green and his tag team partner are big tag in the tag division. So they're an important part of the Noah like program.
They are also all Gaijin, right?
No, yes, Jake Lee I think is not Japanese either. I think he's Korean.
Okay, but they're all
They're all Gaijin, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's another interesting thing that they kind of draw a parallel to Bullet Club, I think, in that way, in kind of the original thesis of what Bullet Club was.
They're Bullet Club if they were led by a guy who's Japanese, but kind of realistically is not like the same as like a homegrown like Okada kind of way.
Okay.
I guess he is a Noah guy through and through, but he never before was really like the leader of a stable type guy.
Okay.
Like an Okada or even like an AJ to me.
Mm-hmm. And then we discussed this a little bit last week. The Storm Catch rules turned out to just kind of be Ring of Honor Pure rules. A little bit different. You'd kind of have to watch the match to get all those small differences.
Which I guess is just a catch match then. The Storm wasn't even...
I don't know what the Storm part was.
I don't know either.
But I thought this was a pretty good match. I expected going into this for it to be some gimmicky thing, right? Just that I just wanted it like that much. I ended up giving it 3.25 stars.
It wasn't bad.
Like, it was a pretty good match.
It was not bad. Great-O-Khan, he's not...
Of course, Great-O-Khan beat Yuya Uemura for the King of Pro Wrestling provisional title, or whatever they call it. But
the weird King of Pro Wrestling title. He is now currently the King of Professional Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It was a solid match. Great-O-Khan not usually known for this kind of style of wrestling with the rope breaks and the 15-minute time limit, but he was pretty good in it.
Yeah, that was great. Great-O-Khan versus Gunther to be undisputed King of Wrestling. Who wins?
Probably Gunther, but
Probably.
It would be very fun, especially if it's in Las Vegas. Don't let that man get too wild in Las Vegas.
That is true. We also saw Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toru Yano, and Oleg Boltin defend the 6-man titles against LIJ. That was representing LIJ was Yota Tsuji, Hiromu Takahashi, and Bushi. LIJ wins. This is kind of interesting. This is Yota Tsuji's first gold in professional wrestling. Hiromu Takahashi's first team gold in New Japan. Bushi's 5th time representing LIJ with the never open weight 6-man titles. LIJ has had 5 6-man title reigns. So every time this faction gets this title, Bushi is the linchpin, which I thought was kind of an interesting stat. Also, it was a great match.
It was. I mean, it is going to be Yota Tsuji is easily. They're very clearly building him to replace Naito at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know when it'll be, but it's going to happen.
I was going to save this for my miscellaneous notes, but we got to talk about Hiroshi Tanahashi's haircut. Did you see it?
It's something.
What is it? What was he going for?
I don't know. The next day, he was at the Despy Invitational teaming with Toru Yano, and for some reason, Kyoko Inoue, just kind of out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an interesting haircut.
You guys got to go look it up if you haven't seen it.
You know what? It reminds me...
How would you describe it?
In Cyberpunk 2077, the character Rogue has the exact same haircut. That's how I describe it. It's hair like 15 in Cyberpunk 2077. That's just how I describe
Googling Rogue Cyberpunk 2077.
Young Rogue. It's I think the exact same hair. It's like the weird mohawky type thing.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's kind of mohawky, kind of hair metal, kind of
big hair. Wouldn't feel out of place in the 1980s.
Yeah. I don't know. It was something I had to... It was distracting me the entire match, but still, it was still a good match. Jeff Cobb versus Tomohiro Ishii for the New Japan television title. As we just talked about earlier, of course, Jeff Cobb retained. I also thought this was a pretty good match.
I mean, going into it, this is not going to be a bad match.
This was
big boys.
This is one of our 2 certified sirloin beefsteak matches. Like, him and... I mean, it was awesome. It's always fun to see guys like that, and I love Tomohiro Ishii. So
I cannot wait for Oleg Boltin to be a top guy in his own right and be in.
Is he still a young lion?
Is he getting out of it?
Has he graduated and just still chooses to wear all black? Because he seems like the kind of guy that would graduate and still just choose to be in the all black.
Oh no, he definitely would. I mean, I could see him incorporating some blue later on to represent Kazakhstan. Mm-hmm. But because him and Hinari are the only. Hinari is the only Maori. He's the only Kazakh wrestler I can think of.
I was gonna ask this because I was gonna talk about this on that match. You might know better than me. Is it uncommon for a young lion to win a title? Like, especially, I mean, does it happen with the 6-man titles?
More often, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be two like established guys. Usually Tanahashi for some reason.
Well, but if you're gonna learn from anybody, learn from the ace.
Right. Yeah. Good point. But yeah, Big K, rest in peace. He won the 6-man with, I think, like, I can't think of his name, but Blue Justice. Who I can't think of his name. I'm blanking on it, but he won it with
Yuji
Nagata and somebody else. So he was a young lion. He didn't have to graduate, sadly, but he was definitely. He was going to be a huge star. I get the same vibes with Oleg Boltin, where he's going to be a huge star too. So when young lions win the title, win a title, they usually will win one.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're not going to go on excursion, they'll win one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oleg won't go on excursion. I think Big K was going to go on excursion. Should we win? I think
If
he won
Oleg
it.
did go on an excursion, where would you want to see him go?
Europe.
Europe.
He's
Go to
more technical. He's an amateur wrestler, so
like a WXW or like a Progress or Rev Pro.
I think Rev Pro still has the deal, so I would just say Rev Pro.
Okay. Moving on, we had a 4-way elimination tornado tag for both the IWGP and Strong Openweight tag titles. Chase Owens and Kenta entered with the IWGP titles. Hikuleo and El Fantasmo had the Strong Openweight titles. And then TMDK was represented by Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste. And then, of course, Bishamon was in there. This was an awesome match.
This was very good.
This might be a controversial take. I think this was match of the night.
It's close. It's close.
Let me find where I had it. Oh wait, no, actually no. Sorry, I misread my ratings. I did end up giving Moxley and Evil a 1/4 star higher.
Okay.
So I think this is the second best match of the night.
Even then, it's still really close.
And I gave it the same rating as Despy and Taiji.
Yeah, like those three are like, oh, this is really close. I can't tell.
Yeah, I just had a lot of fun with this match. Arguably match of the night.
It was a fun 3-way tag match. Kind of reminded me of that 4-way. It kind of reminded me of that match at that Wrestle Kingdom we watched with the Girls of Destiny. Shockingly.
Yes.
But the actual Girls of Destiny, not the Hikuleo.
The new Girls of Destiny. The
for now.
Bodacious Hikuleo and Bombastic El Fantasma.
Yeah. The bloodline now.
Yeah.
It feels like it reminds me of that, but speaking of Toki Makabe coming up, it was fun. Hikuleo eating the first pin was kind of surprising.
Yeah, that was shocking.
But I think we all know. I think I know what's gonna happen from now on. But TMDK also really surprising to me.
I'm really happy to see them get crowned.
I am too. I didn't think they were gonna get the win. I thought it was gonna be Bishamon all day.
Because they were released from WWE in like 2020. Like it's been a while that they've been in New Japan chasing these IWGP titles.
I saw. Well, even then, it's not Shane and Mikey. It's just Mikey, I think. Let me see who was in it again. Yeah, no, it is. It is Shane and Mikey.
Shane and Mikey won, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was getting confused all together.
I think Mikey was released first, and then Shane was released later on.
Yeah, because Shane was Slapjack.
But they came back together in like 2020 or 2021, and they've been chasing these IWGP tag titles since, and it's really exciting to see them win.
I mean, well deserved, obviously. Well deserved.
We had our second of the certified sirloin beefsteak matches. Shingo Takagi and Hanare, which went to a draw, went to a double, not count out. What's it called when it's a standing count? I don't know. Anyway, it's a draw.
Double couldn't get up draw.
Yeah. Double KO, I think, is what they officially called it. This was really good.
That is the exact way I'd have this match end.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at these two guys. They're huge. They're going to beat the snot out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
You got Hanare, who is the only Maori wrestler in the world, which is automatically gives him cred. Mm-hmm. I cannot wait for Wrestle Kingdom Haka entrance. That's gonna be
awesome.
so good. And Shingo Takagi has been the man.
Oh, he's a beast.
He's been a beast since. Name me a year, I'll tell you he's a beast.
I know for sure. I really started watching into New Japan in 2020 because I think, like a lot of people, all of a sudden I had a lot of time on my hands. And Shingo kind of carried the company through that era.
Shingo he really did carry it through COVID.
I mean, really, the same way that Drew McIntyre carried pandemic era WWE. I think there kind of should be considered about the same level in that kind of statistic. But, so yeah, Shingo's awesome. And then a match that I was surprised didn't go on last. I thought it was going to be the other way around. But we have Jon Moxley defending the IWGP title in a lumberjack match against Evil of House of Torture. Thankfully, Jon Moxley won.
Thankfully. Also, I just want to looking at the lumberjacks.
Mm-hmm.
What a great picks.
So
What great picks from Jon Moxley.
So House of Torture, of course, were picked by Evil to be lumberjacks. On Moxley's side, he picked Shota Umino, of course, his boy, his young ward, Shota Umino. And then he picked the legends of the third generation, Togi Makabe, Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Yuji Nagata, and Tiger Mask, which was awesome. And they were all wearing Mox shirts.
Just some boys.
Dude, Team Mox was awesome. I would love to see that 5-on-5, actually.
When was the last time Tiger Mask wrestled? 4, obviously. When was the last time Tiger Mask 4 wrestled? Or, like, Togi Makabe? Because Togi Makabe, Hanma still goes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Togi Makabe has been wrestling this year.
Okay.
I've been seeing stuff about that. Same with Nagata and Tenzan occasionally. Let's see. Tiger Mask 4 doesn't show up on Cage Match. You just gotta look up Tiger Mask and
I
make a guess.
would think so. Because when I first got into him,
so not Misawa.
When I first got into New Japan, he was like, Tiger Mask 4 was exiting like.
Okay, he has wrestled this year in New Japan and in
crazy.
CMLL. Let's see how many matches this year. Wow, actually, he's wrestled quite a bit. He's wrestled 39 matches this year.
That's crazy.
So yeah, a lot of tag matches though. He's only got 2 singles matches that I'm seeing on here. Faced Ultimo Guerrero on a CMLL show. Oh, I think 3. He faced Magnus on Magnus at a Fantastica Mania show, and he faced Zack Sabre Jr. at the Road to New Beginning. So on the Road to New Beginning. So yeah, Tiger Mask was still fun to see out there. It was awesome. It was also a great match. It was a better match than I was expecting from Evil. I think he did better. And for once, I wasn't annoyed by the House of Torture interference because it felt like a match stipulation that set up interference.
Yeah, it's a lumberjack match.
Yeah.
You're going to have the heel lumberjacks get involved and then the face lumberjacks just fight them off. It's a match that works with House of Torture.
Mm-hmm. So seeing them do this in every regular match is kind of annoying, but this is the one time where it's like, yeah, that's what you guys are supposed to be doing. Good job. And then, of course, in the main event, El Desperado defeats Taiji Ishimori, wins the Best of Super Juniors, his first Best of Super Junior win ever. This weekend, he will face Sho for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Props to Despy. He deserves it.
He does. 100%.
He's really been, he's been probably the most exciting part of the junior heavyweight division for a few months now, possibly going back into last year. So definitely deserves it. Overall, what did you think of Dominion?
It was solid. I've seen better Dominions. I've seen better Dominions this week.
Yes.
I guess like a 7.5.
7.5. I was thinking like a 7. So I think we're on the same track there. Now, NXT Battleground. I'm gonna be straight up. I was not a huge fan of this show.
I didn't even watch it.
Okay. So I guess I'll just run through it quickly and see your reaction. Kalani Jordan won the NXT Women's North American title ladder match. She beat Sol Ruka, Lash Legend, Mia Yim, Jada Parker, and Fallon Henley.
It's alright.
So, unfortunately, our girl Sol Ruka lost. But it was a pretty good match. I gave it 3.5 stars. It's like, this is a good start. Axiom and Nathan Frazier pulled the best match out of Gallows and Anderson that I've seen them have in WWE.
I saw Nathan Frazier on a strip after, in person, obviously. I did not go back to Vegas this soon. I saw Nathan Frazier on a strip, lost, looking for Axiom.
Yeah.
And I see Axiom and Nathan. I think both of them was almost throwing a guy into the fountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? Did we have it like Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes too? Where they just got really hammered had the best time after the show.
Maybe. But yeah, I thought it was 4 stars. It was match of the night, and I certainly was not what I was expecting to be the match I liked the most coming out of this card. This week going into it, Lola Vice beats Shayna Baszler in an NXT Underground match. I give it was 2 3/4. Like it was definitely an above average match, but like I don't know. Maybe the Underground stipulation just isn't for me. I just don't really enjoy it.
It made sense for UFC Apex.
Mm-hmm.
It was just alright.
Yeah. Obafemi retained the NXT North American title against Wesley and Joe Coffey. A lot of positive talk about Obafemi. I thought he looked great in this match, but ultimately I thought it was just a 3-star match, just a kind of pretty good triple threat. Wasn't anything that excited me too much. But like I said, I still enjoyed this show. It's just I set my expectations a bit higher because I think we've been getting a lot of really good wrestling recently, and so this just kind of disappointed me a bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Roxanne Perez versus Jordan Grace was pretty good. I gave it 3.5. I think definitely is fun to see. I think the moment with Dana Brooke was funny because Vic Joseph goes Dana TNA wrestler Ash by Elegance it's really funny to see WWE on the other side of that, having to refer to people by their not WWE names because WWE released them.
Oh my gosh, it's Ash by Elegance. What is she doing in the Battleground zone?
Yeah. And so yeah, Roxanne won. I think we both predicted that. It's kind of where we thought that was going.
It was,
but,
I mean, yeah.
Still a good effort from Jordan Grace and a match I enjoyed. And then Trick Williams defeats Ethan Page. It was a 3-star match. I don't know. It just felt like an Ethan Page Dynamite match. Like it just didn't feel big.
Because it's an Ethan Page match. Let's
like
be real. I like the man, but he has his peaks and valleys. And let me be real, big matches are not one of those peaks.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Like when he first showed up a couple weeks ago in NXT, like it just doesn't feel like there's much for him to do in WWE, and it feels like, you know what, if he's getting a big bag, right, if he's making money, go for it, do whatever you want to do. I hope he's happy, but as far as like someone just enjoying the art form of wrestling, it felt like he could have done bigger stuff outside of WWE, because I feel like he's just going to end up lost in the shuffle in WWE.
Yeah, he's getting lost in the sauce.
Yeah. So I mean that's for me Battleground. I didn't like the atmosphere of the UFC Apex. It felt very small.
It's not a wrestling venue, and it shows.
I still don't like Booker T on commentary. TNA can have him back for that if TNA would like to organize a trade where NXT gets Matthew Raynaud and formerly known as Aiden English, and TNA gets Booker T. I would like to broker that deal. But I don't know. It just ultimately, the show didn't hit me. I would probably give it like a 4.5 or a 5. Like it just wasn't that good of a show for me. I just didn't find myself really locked in enjoying it. Moving on, we do have some predictions to make for Clash at the Castle. So first match here, we have a triple threat for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark versus the Unholy Alliance, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. What do you pick? Who are you picking here?
Jade Cargill and Bianca.
Here's what I got. All right. There are 3 Scottish talents competing on this card, right? There's the Unholy Alliance, there's Piper Niven, and there's Drew McIntyre. I don't think, spoilers for the next 5 minutes of our predictions, I don't think Piper Niven or Drew are going to win those titles. I think this is set up as a triple threat so that Zoe or Shayna could take the pin. Bianca and Jay don't actually lose the titles, but the Unholy Alliance get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I can see that.
It's just a big upset moment, something that will maybe be memorable, could play into a Bianca Jade storyline in the future, because that's why they have these titles.
No, you had to do. Yeah.
It's just because it's going to be...
This is for heel Jade.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Intercontinental title, Sami Zayn defending against Chad Gable. I'm going to go with another title change here. I think Chad Gable wins. I think it was awesome. Sami had a fun run, but Gable deserves the title. He's been doing too good of work. And I know Sami's been a big part of that too, but man, it's just the right time for Gable.
It really is.
Are you picking Gable also?
Yeah.
All right. I already kind of said this one, but Bayley versus Piper Niven for the WWE Women's title. I'm going with Bayley.
Yeah.
There's not enough story there or build for Piper Niven to win the title. In an I Quit match, we have Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship against AJ Styles. This is the kind of thing where Cody's kind of your new Cena. He's not going to say I quit.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Not a chance. So I'm going with Cody. You're going with Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre for the heavyweight title. Who wins? Does CM Punk get involved? Does...
This is so tough.
I'm going with Priest.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Priest as well. Punk does get involved.
Punk gets involved, costs Drew the match. I think that's it. And then I've seen a lot of people making the joke that then Drew McIntyre sings a song with Joe Hendry after the match. So
I really think that when I said I think last week about Punk coming out in a Celtic jersey is gonna happen, because did you see the merchandise they dropped?
no, I did not.
They dropped a Rangers jersey parody almost, so it makes even more sense.
Mm-hmm. I did see someone on on Twitter. It was just some random guy in a comment section on Twitter pitch that Punk tries to get involved. The Judgment Day, while that's going down, the Judgment Day get involved, and then Balor costs Priest the match. So the swerve is we think Punk's about to cost McIntyre the match, but what ends up happening is that Balor costs Priest the match. What would you think of that kind of finish?
I think it's interesting.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just feel like something else is going to happen, because I feel like the Punk costing Drew is too easy. It would still be obviously it would still be a great story beat. I'm still fine with it. That's why it's too easy, because it's the right move. But is WWE going to do something else? We'll just have to see. So far, I've beaten you on all of our predictions. So it's going to come down to the triple threat women's tag match, because we picked different people, but also there's a potential for a tie there too.
Yeah.
So who knows? We'll see how that goes. Do you think we get more matches added to this by Saturday?
Maybe like 1 or 2.
Because we're at 5 right now, and that's what WWE's been doing. But I think they should do more. They should do 7 or 8. I would like to see Ricochet versus Ilya versus Braun Breaker added, and Logan Paul versus LA Knight added. Those are the 2 I'd like to see thrown onto this card. Is there anything else you would want to see? Any other storylines they're building that you think would be there?
They're not really. The 5 match cards for these arena shows, I think, works the best.
Yeah. So now on to Jayden's miscellaneous notes. Got a few things here. If Samantha Irvin leaves with Ricochet, I think Justin Roberts' job might be in jeopardy. Just something to put out there, because Samantha Irvin, I think, is the best announcer in wrestling. I love the Dapper Yapper, but he might need to watch out. We talked about Tanahashi's hair. I like the tradition of Bullet Club members using former members' moves. Like Finlay's been using the Styles Clash, and Chase Owens does a V-trigger. It's just fun to see. And lastly, I want to see Jon Moxley on Hot Ones. I can't really explain this.
I want to see,
but it's just a note I wrote down.
I want to see every wrestler at Hot Ones. Also, they should move Hot Ones back to his hometown. I think that would really, really, really revitalize the community. And I am not just saying this because he went to the same high school.
So, but yeah, that's where I'm at. I think John Moxley on Hot Ones would be awesome.
It would be. It really, really would.
On to our favorite things of the week. If you are new here, this is where I hand out the bronze, silver, and gold hot dog to the things I saw this week that I like the most. And Shane hands out a bronze, silver, and gold handshake. Shane, where's the bronze handshake going this week?
It was tough. It was very tough. All of mine went to Dominion.
Okay.
I went with the Despy show match, which is so weird that I'm giving the House of Torture to my...
Despy versus Taiji, you mean?
Yeah, Taiji.
It's not technically House of Torture. It's
Well, no,
Bullet Club.
it's Bullet Club. It's weird I'm giving House of Torture even a spot on my list.
Me too. Oh, we'll get there. My bronze is going to go to Swerve and Roddy from Dynamite. Really like that match. What's the silver handshake going to go to?
The ladder lumberjack match. I thought it was the perfect way to have House of Torture get involved in the match that they usually do. I loved seeing all of the Gen 3 legends.
Yep, that was cool. My silver hot dog is going to go to Sami Zayn and the Alpha Academy for their segment on Raw. I think that if Chad Gable keeps working like this, he's pretty much going to have a permanent spot in my top 3. So, definitely give that my silver hot dog. What gets the gold handshake?
I'm gonna say the tag team match.
The 4-way?
The 4-way tag match. That was my favorite match of the week so far. I mean, not so far. The last week, yeah. This week, getting pretty close. I honorable mention. I do those every once in a while. Honorable mention to just the absolute insanity of a card that was the Despy Invitational. Mao, Chris Brooks, some Dino, the pre-show being Tanahashi, Toru Yano, and Kyoko Inoue against the DDT team. What a weird show.
Yeah. Despy Booker of the Year territory?
It's getting there.
Yeah. My gold is going to Moxley and Evil. So I think honorable mentions for me, just missed it, was the 4-way from Dominion and the main event, the Super Junior final, just missed for me. But Moxley versus Evil is going to be my gold this week. Now on to the lightning round. This is where Shane gives me his excitement level on a scale of 1 to 10 about the matches we're going to see this week. Before we start this, most exciting match on Clash of the Castle for you, of the 5 we know about?
Cody AJ.
Yeah, I think so. Starting on Raw, we have Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria. How excited are you for this out of 10?
I'll give it. I'll go with like a 6.
6. All right. Sami Zayn versus Otis.
It's tough with this one because I don't know. I'm gonna give it. I'm interested, but also there's
gonna be a great story beat, but it's not gonna be like an instant classic in the ring.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like a 6.
Okay. Ilya Dragunov versus Braun Breaker.
10.
Okay.
10.
Might be the title under 10 of the week.
We'll see.
On Dynamite, we're gonna have Dustin Rhodes versus Jack Perry to qualify for the TNT ladder match.
Yeah, Jack Perry's gonna win too.
Yep. What do you got? What's your out of 10?
2.
2? Okay. Mercedes Moné versus Zeuxis? Is that how you pronounce that?
I don't know,
Okay.
but
Zeuxis for the TBS title?
This is gonna be interesting. I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Will Ospreay versus Rey Fenix for the international title.
This is a 9.
Okay. SmackDown, we have Naomi versus Chelsea Green.
A 5.
And Mia Yim versus Nia Jax.
A 3.
Collision, the 1-year anniversary of Collision. Lee Moriarty versus Dante Martin to qualify for the TNT ladder match.
Okay, that's I'll give that an 8.
I would say that's like a sneaky 8.
That's like the sleeper pick of the night.
Yeah. And Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo in a no DQ match.
I'll give it a 7.
The 7. So the title under 10 of the week goes to Ilya and Braun.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Match recommendation of the week. As we got an I Quit match coming up this weekend, I think people should go check out Tully Blanchard versus Magnum TA.
Ooh.
Steel Cage I Quit match, Starrcade 1985.
Deep cut.
It's a deep cut, but it is an incredible match. I think we watched it for a classic review on our previous show. And yeah, I think it's potentially the oldest match I've ever given a 5-star rating to, which is interesting, but it's definitely one you should check out. Any other I Quit matches come to mind?
Cena Orton.
Cena Orton. There was a Cena Batista one too.
Yeah.
That was the last. Was the duct tape the last man standing?
Yeah, that was what I was saying. But they didn't have an I Quit match. I think Batista quit after that.
Oh, okay. And Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, the I Quit Hell in a Cell match is really, really good from the pandemic era. It's potentially the best match of the pandemic era. So, but yeah, definitely check out Starrcade 1985. That is on Peacock. You can go, if you have Peacock, you can go check that out. Classic reviews. I know last week I mentioned an NXT Takeover review. We had a problem with the file. Stuff happened. Technical difficulties happen, right? So, if you want to check out one of those, if you haven't checked out King of the Ring 98 yet, definitely go back and do that. And this week, TLC 2009 will be releasing. So we'll put that out on Friday as a little way to celebrate Drew McIntyre heading into the weekend. Yeah, I think anything else you want to mention before we're out of here, Shane? We do also have NJPW has New Japan Soul this weekend, and there is an All Together show, which is the United Japanese Wrestling Alliance, whatever it's called. New Japan, Big Japan, All Japan, Noah, DDT. So yeah, definitely those will be interesting to check out if you like the Japanese wrestling game. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, and don't forget to enjoy wrestling.